everybody, welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy and this is my corner of YouTube all about cross stitch. So it's been a couple of weeks. You last saw my whip parade hopefully. If you haven't, please go check it out. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I have now got over 200 subscribers. Thank you very much to all who have joined me. You might notice there's a reflection in my glasses this time around. It is because I have set up our ring light behind my phone. And I am sorry it makes my eyes look creepy, but if I take off my glasses, won't be able to see. So let's do some of the beginning YouTube-y things. It's been, as I said, it's been a couple of weeks. It looks like rain outside, so that might be interesting if it starts to rain and see if it gets thundery. I don't think it'll get thundery. It hardly ever does. Much to my chagrin. Anyway, sorry, I rabbited and squirreled. Anyways, welcome. This is Flosstube 41, I believe. Yes, it is. I am filming this on July 21st, and this is week 28 of my year of 50 starts. I haven't had a new start in a while, but that is going to change this week. Well, unless you count my Frogwarts start, which I do for my 50 starts. So, but it has been a while since I've gotten to start. And I am going to have some bonus starts because there are some things that have come up that I really want to do. And I still want to start the things I had already planned to start. So it might be the year of 52 starts. Anyway, if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I am over 200. There will be a little surprise at the end of the video to celebrate my 200 subscribers. Also, please let me know how you found me. Did you hear me on a shout out? Did YouTube just spit me at you? Was it through Frogwarts? Virtual Stitchers? You know, how did you find me? I usually neglect to ask that, but I thought I should this time around. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me say, sorry, I'm doing things a little out of order this time because of things that came up, and there are just certain things that are logically make more sense to me than doing it in my normal order, and it's throwing off my brain a little bit. So last month I had, I figured out my total stitches for June, which I think July will blow out of the water, but you know, every month you do what you do. I got 14,954 stitches in June. And I would like to thank 3 people who shouted me out. Jason X Stitches, Stitching with Charlie, Charlie from Stitching with Charlie, and Kat from Stitching with the Griffin. Thanks for the mention, guys. Life updates. I'm going to get these out of the way and they'll segue really nicely into what I want to talk about with my stitching. So, July 1st was the hubby's 50th birthday. The kid and the son-in-law came to visit. It was super nice. They stayed a really long time, so we got him most of the day. We went out and had some delicious food. And it was just a good day. I've been talking about how I'm planning on going back to college to get my science teaching license. I will not be going back to college. I will be going through an alternative program to get my licensure. Since I already have a license, a teaching license in the state, I can do a portfolio. So in the next week or so I'm going to be investigating because I know there's a time limit, so I don't want to start too early and then not be able to do some of it because I'm not in school. And I still have my micro credential to do, so it'll be a little less hectic, so maybe I won't lose as much stitching time in the fall as I had feared. Alright, summer school ended on Friday, so now I have till about August 24th that is officially my summer. I will probably go in before that and do some setup in my room so I can use workshop week for planning actual lessons. But I plan on trying to take some days to relax, working on the house, getting it clean so I can just do maintenance during the school year when I'm super busy. And yeah. So, lots of doctor's appointments in the last couple of weeks, lots of them coming up for my husband and I. Always try to do that during the summer as a teacher. Let's see. We did get to go see the new Superman in theaters. It was something my husband really wanted to see in theaters. I was a little hesitant because the last few Superman movies have been meh, but I loved it. The guy playing Superman, I don't remember his name. He was really good. There was some comedy in it. I was a little afraid because I saw Crypto the Superdog, but they did him really well. It didn't cheesify the movie. I was afraid it was going to be super cheesy, but he was well used. There were a few silly parts, but it really kept the feel of the old 1970s, like the core feeling of the 1970s Superman, because Christopher Reeves has been my Superman. Since I was a kid, had a major crush on him. Is there any girl of the 80s who didn't have a crush on Superman at one point? Well, some, I'm sure, but this guy was so good. Like he's like right up there with Christopher Reeves for me. Excellent Clark Kent, which to me, if you don't nail Clark, you're not doing Superman right, because Clark is Superman's true self. Superman is the disguise. Whereas with Batman's his real self. Bruce Wayne is his disguise. So they handled it really well. There was some humor. They kept him like that kind of Boy Scout attitude, but not in the way that made you want to punch him. Because sometimes when they play up his good nature and his honesty, it feels too cheesy to be real. And no, he felt like a real person. He felt like just a very kind person, but not a pushover at the same time. There were some changes that I wasn't thrilled about, but I can understand why they did it. So yeah, there was a whole meta thing going on with like real world events and how things were connected. So yeah. But I do recommend, if you like superhero movies, to go check that out. So that was one of the other big fun things that we did. All right, excuse me, when you wake up, you wipe your eyes, and then sometimes you still get another eye sleepy, or I call them eye boogers, or eye boogies. Sorry about that. Next big thing that I had going on was Frogwarts. I had so much fun. I think I had more fun this year than last year. I reconnected with some of the Hufflepuffs that I was in a house with last year. I met some new people, made some new friends. So let's see. Some people that I interacted with on Frogwarts that you might know. Kate from Fickle Stitches, super nice. She always has fun projects. If you haven't checked her out, she's one of the reasons I'm doing 100 Owls. So quite the enabler, Kate. Then Erin Rustle, the hiking stitcher, also walking in stitches on Instagram. Kate is, I believe, stitching aardvark on Instagram. Super nice. Spent a lot of time hanging out with her. Excuse me. She wasn't competing this year. She won everything last year, and so she decided to just chill and hang out with friends. And it was really nice to meet her and get to spend some time with her and get to know her a bit. I got to spend some time with Liz from Stitch by Liz from Australia. She's also very nice, very kind, and everybody was helpful. Like, they were doing Hogsmeade, which is the non-competing, but like even if you were in the room with other houses that were competing, everybody would announce like when the passwords went up, or when it was stitching time, and the people who weren't competing helped you track, like, you have 5 minutes left in your challenge, make sure you're finding your stopping point, that kind of thing. So even in the competing houses, we're letting each other know when the passwords popped up or when movie pop-ups happened to get prizes. I was very happy. Last year when I was in my Hufflepuff house, we only had like 2 or 3 people participating out of the whole group, so we got very few points, but we got over 1,000 points this year. We actually held our own pretty well. I didn't do any of the stash dives or Quidditch matches or anything. I just concentrated on stitching my piece to see how far I could get. Let's see, who else? I met Eric and Kevin from Akio Whips briefly. I admit it was kind of awkward for me because I've been wanting to meet them for over a year. They're the reason I discovered Frogwarts, and I wanted to meet them last year, but Erica was sick. And yeah, I kind of was like kind of an awkward fangirl a little bit because I had been anticipating meeting them for over a year. And yeah, it was just awkward and a little weird, but I did it to myself, so it's okay. They weren't like, they were awesome. They were just busy stitching away and hanging out with their friends, and I was just the weird awkward kid coming in, and it's okay. It's like trying to join the lunch table when everybody's already seated, but it was all right. They were nice. I just was weird about it because I'm awkward and socially weird. So I also got to hang out with a lady named Sue. She was super nice. She does not have a floss tube, I don't think. We did ask everybody's floss tubes, and she doesn't have one, but she was super helpful. I had talked with her a bit last year as well. And then I met Jordan, who is brand new to Flosstube. Her first floss tube went up right before Frogwarts. Her floss tube is Stitching Espresso. She's very sweet, very enthusiastic with her floss tubes. I really recommend you check out her channel. And I got to meet Lisa, and I think I saw her a couple of times last year, but we didn't really hang out. And I did not realize for most of Frogwarts that she is Lisa of Paddock Lane Designs. So you might know her from her designs, you might know her from her business floss tube, Paddock Lane Designs, or you might know her from Shady Tree Stitches, which is her personal floss tube. She was so kind and helpful, and yeah, it was awesome. One of the things that really excited me about Frogwarts this year is I finished the band sampler during the retreat. So Kate and Sue, I said, this is going to be my first retreat finish, and they got me a digital bell on their phones and made sure I got a bell rung for me at the retreat. So that was super nice. And I had said, sorry, my mind is racing because I had such a good time. I had said that I was going to do an unboxing video, but a few people were missing a couple items, and I didn't want to like be on camera being if I missed anything. And I did have 2 items missing, but Black Needle Society, I emailed them. They put in a replacement order right away, and I haven't gotten that yet, but the retreat just finished a week ago, and I know that what they're doing is if you were missing something, they're gonna combine your door prizes in, so they just wait till all that's done. And I did win 2 door prizes this year. I won a pattern, and I won some fancy floss, so I'm eagerly awaiting that. The pattern isn't something, at least from what I could tell, that is normally my style, but I'll wait to make my final decision about what I'm going to do with it when I get it in the mail and can see it in person. It is a Brenda Gervais design, and I think she does mostly sampler stuff, and normally that's not my bag, so it might end up being a giveaway. Who knows? All right, so before I get into my stitching, usually I do haul at the end, but because I'm talking about Frogwarts right now, I thought I would just start with my Frogwarts haul. Oops, sorry, I was looking for the little needle minder and the zipper pull thing, or charm that they sent, and they had slid. All right, so here is the needle minder. It is a Slughorn Club needle minder, and this one works. I think I'm just going to end up making a collection of these because I don't really use needle minders on my projects, but it's really cute. And then the zipper full is a little poof. It's a little poof. I was going to put it on the Luna Lovegood project bag that came in, but the zipper on that doesn't have a hole for me to put it in. But that is so cute. So I got to find a project bag for that one. We got fabric this year. Last year I was a little disappointed because in the earlier boxes you always got fabric. This is called Pensive. It doesn't say who dyed it on there. It probably does on the cheat card. But it's a neutral modeled. I think it's a 36 count. I'm not sure. I don't remember what I asked for. But isn't that lovely? Now I have to figure out what I'm going to stitch on it. I did that dyeing for my octopus style, which I haven't started yet. I might measure this and see if this would work, but I think the other one is a better choice. That other one looks more like water. This looks smoky. Maybe you could put a cool like Halloween witchy lady on this. If you have any suggestions for what would go lovely on this, please let me know. And woo, our every flavor floss. Can you see? There we go. And then we've got Treacle Tart. We've got Dobby's Sock. And I have the ones from last year I'm going to use in the Halloween Quaker. And what I might do is some of these I think work better tonally to replace the fancy flosses that were called for. I might use some of these in my Halloween Quaker. This is called Bombarda, beautiful red. This one is Pumpkin Pasty. And this is Felix Felicis, so our good luck. And these are all by Color and Cotton. Every Frogwarts, they do the Color and Cotton. I think they might do Color and Cotton for all their boxes. But very cool. All right. I am missing 2 items, but as I said, they'll be sent. And I'm not sure what to do with these because I don't use floss cards either. But these are potion themed floss cards, and they are very pretty. I'm trying to figure out, because I don't like to waste things, and they are cool looking. But as I said, I don't use floss cards, so I'm not sure what to do with them. And it's part of my advanced potion making class. Woo. Here is a little pouch. I guess you could, this is probably supposed to be a notions pouch. You could also use it for a teeny tiny project bag. And the lining is really nice inside. I'm not going to show you, it's just a plain color, but it is nice. Then we've got the Spectre Specs bag. The Spectre Specs project bag. So Luna's lovely glasses. And a lovely lavender. And then this is, I think this is supposed to be like to use at a table at retreat. So we've got the headmaster portraits, and then inside we have little pockets. Oh, that's not a pocket. Oh yeah, that's a pocket. Goes this way. And then you lay this out with all your accoutrements at your table spot at a retreat, and I guess you can hang your scissors here or whatever. So I don't know. I've never used one of these because I've never been to a physical retreat. So if you can tell me, and then it ties up, if you can tell me how you use them, that would be awesome. I don't know when I'll ever get to go to a physical retreat, but so that is what came in my Frogwarts box, and it looked like a Hogwarts trunk again. So now it's time to share my first ever retreat finish. So the retreat started officially at 6:30 Thursday on the July 9th on Wednesday, and it ended, the last challenge was at like 2 o'clock, finished up at 2 o'clock on Sunday. So from Wednesday night to Sunday when I finished the project, I put 7,701 stitches onto year 6. I admit I had to take a day where I didn't stitch the next day because everything hurt from stitching so intensively. I was sore. So I had to take a little break, but I had my first retreat finish. There are a couple of mistakes. I challenge you to find them. So here is Frogwarts Year 6. When I started it, I didn't have the little book, and so I didn't see that this was supposed to be 12. So This is the Felix Felicis Good Luck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some blending filament here and just go over my top stitch to make it glow or shiny. Then I did use some etoile in the blue part of the necklace here. And then the vanishing cabinets. There was one person in the retreat. They took the vanishing cabinets and they split them. So they moved this vanishing cabinet over here and they shifted everything else so that it was between the vanishing cabinets, which turned out lovely. It was beautiful. I've got I did in the band of the ring, I did etoile. I did etoile in the locket, and then all but one color, well, two colors, but all but one color in Fox's body is etoile, and then his beak and his claws are an etoile. I did change the this. It was one of the darker purple, like the 154 that's in the back of the potions book, but I wanted it to look more like regular bird claws, so I changed it to 3371, like in the cabinet. So I finished this. I actually didn't have to do the last two challenges, and I was just like, there are a couple of mistakes, but I dare you to find it. So now I have your 5 and your 6 done. Isn't that awesome? I will have to go back in and do the footprints. Now this did get called for a challenge, that a prompt that I've been doing. So since I have it here, I also got a little bit more progress on year 1 in the last couple of days, because I will explain what challenge or what prompt this was for. But I actually bit the bullet and did some of my veggies and worked on the sorting hat a bit. He is a big little dude. Like, he is a lot more stitches than you think. So yeah, there is my sorting hat. I made some good progress. So since you saw it last in my whip parade, I've gotten a little bit more. There's nothing more done on those. Sometimes linen's handy because I can see how it looks. I can roughly see how it looks while I'm scrolling up. So I am going to work on this periodically as it comes up. But I've got 2 years finished. Next year is year 7, and I am excited. I am going to make sure I go and get the 7th year. Maybe I can get some more done on it. So, Frogwarts. I was intending to not work on it for at least a month, but since it was year 1, I went ahead and did it when it fit one of the challenge prompts that I had. Ooh, it has gotten dark outside, ladies and gents. Okay. Oh. I started year 6 on June 29th, and I finished it on July 13th. That is a total of 12,443 stitches in 2 weeks. It is on 36 count stonewash by Seraphim. It's 2/2, and I'm using the DMC conversion on everything except for the diamonds, which I got the fancy floss for. All right, next. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna get another drink, and this time it's gonna be caffeine because I have not had caffeine yet today. Yes, Mr. Kitty, come on. Do you want to come up? Come on, you can come up. Well, if you're not going to come up, I'm going to go on with my business. So the next is Letters from Hogwarts by Cunning Crossstitch. Sadly, this is no longer available. This was for a prompt where you had to have something that reflected 2 of the same thing. And I am still working on the top banner. I started this on August 24th, 2023. It is a stitch your own adventure, so I roll for different parts. I didn't roll for my house because I already knew my house from various quizzes I've taken because I'm a dork and a nerd. And it is on 32 count stone gray Belfast linen. There are, how many colors? 44 colors. And what I did is it fit because there are owls on both sides, and I worked on this owl. Now, I had a little bit of him done, and I had to frog it because it wasn't at the right height. But this is where I'm at. I love the train. There is somebody who took this part and put it on top of their Frogwarts piece. And you also roll for the wood and shape of your wand. and I still need to finish back stitching the wand. This part, it calls for back stitching, this part doesn't, but I think it will pop and it will be easier to see if it is back stitched, since it is a lighter yellow because of the wood that and then it blends in with that yellow. But there we go. Not a ton, but progress is progress, right? Now, I do have a bit of progress on this, I think, since I showed it to you last, despite the fact that you just saw it in a whip parade. This is Dead Outlaw by nightspiritstudio. I started this on March 25th of 2025. It is on 14 count pecan by Flair, printed fabric, so one side is printed, one or has a design, and the other side's naked. And then it's got 6 colors. So look, I'll show you. Here's my back. I am not ashamed of my backs. And then there is the front. I'm going to fold it down a little bit. I did take everything out of hoops and take the needles off this time. I'm getting fancy. All right, so I've already done the Dead Outlaw female that is based on Annalie Oakley. This is based on Wild Bill Hickok. I had to do some prompt stitching where I had to do a certain, like in tans. So I did the outline of his clothes for that one. Here's the beginning of his skull. I don't think you can tell, but this is the bullets in his bullet belt. This is not the called for color for those. I took some toile that was close and I did it so they're shiny. You can't really tell. And then here's his skeleton hand, but for this part here on the gun, that's like the metal part, like the hammer and everything. So I made that a toile as well, so it would be shiny. And you can start to see kind of here's his ribs and his sternum. So I got some good progress on him since you saw him last. This really does stitch up pretty quick. So I cannot wait to finish this. I've got, I think the day, no, I have the year we got married on the, excuse me, got at the bottom of his pillar, he's standing on it. At the bottom there's a date and they put like 18 something. So on her I put our wedding year, and on him I'm going to put the year we started dating instead, and kind of make them like our piece. Makes sense since we play Deadlands all the time and we're from Texas, you know. Or I'm from Texas, he's from Kentucky, but got to Texas when he was young. Anyway. All right, next is Papa Smurf. Fandom has got a challenge in addition to their normal weekly and monthly challenge and the year-long challenge. July finishes, so there's a bonus points for anything you finish. And I started this as one of my 50 starts. It's a little tiny thing, and I did not take the needle out of this because, and it's going to be made into a card. So I worked on him some to get a little further, and he's one of the ones I want to finish in July, which I kind of have a plan for. I know there's not much of July left, and that's okay. All right, next is Halloween Fairy by Nora Corbett, and all right. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Papa Smurf, 14 count, just the Ada kit stuff. I started him on 4/18 this year. It's by Fiona Baker, and there's 4 colors and it's 2 over 1. It came in my World of Cross Stitching magazine. All right. It's been too long. How do I forget how to do this in just 2 weeks? Whip Parade is different. Like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I really want to stop doing this for a minute and open the door. But then if the rain starts making noise, it'll make it harder for y'all to hear me. So I'm just going to wait until I'm done filming before I open the door to enjoy rain. All right, so next is Halloween Fairy by Nora Corbett. I started this on October 3rd of 2023. It is on 32 count Yellowstone by Needle Bling. How many colors? 17 colors, and I'm doing it 2 over 2. And I do have a hanging thread. I took the needle off, but I started working. I got some more done on her skirt. I got Treat finished over here because it wasn't finished during the Whip Parade, which was what I was staring at because I was like, that T doesn't look right. And then I realized, oh, you haven't finished stitching the T. And then I went in and did the metallics in the skirt to get, it actually helps me with the guide to guide down the skirt. And I know there's one of these that has, like, there's supposed to be a hole for the bead. But in a lot of my older projects, like in the older, like the Teresa Lens Solution stuff, you were supposed to stitch the stitch under and then do the beads. And so my brain just automatically did that. So, and that one bead will be a little bit higher. And then I got down here and I started working, I did a little bit on her leg, and then this is the green metallic for the Krynic for the vine. So, she is looking lovely. Oh, she does not have a necklace. I thought she had a necklace. Maybe I'll have to change what I was going to do. I need a project with a necklace, and I thought she had one. But maybe she might have a backstitch necklace. I think it's a backstitch necklace. All right. Next is Rare Horror Flies by Noctifloradesigns. Sorry, I think I've got some allergies, or there's change in the weather. Something has been giving me a runny nose the last couple of days. I started this on August 3rd of 2023. So August 3rd, 2023. It's 18 count hand-dyed fabric by Witch's Garden Crafts called Deadly Blooms. It was made specifically for this. It's got 18 colors and I'm doing it 2/1. And I am so close to a finish. So here, this is what it looks like. There are some mistakes, and I'm realizing now I made more mistakes than I thought, but they're not hugely visible and it will be fine. And I started, since I'm there already, adding in the little numbers to make their scientific name notations at the bottom. And I literally just need to finish this butterfly, add in the numbers, and put the names down here. So let me stop moving it. But there we go. That's all I have left to do on this. And it will be done. And you probably cannot see the mistakes because I realized, like, I thought I just made a mistake in the distance here. But no, there's some mistakes up in these letters, which is throwing things off. But that's okay. Nothing's going to be touching when it's not supposed to. And I really wish I had some more of this Deadly Blooms fabric. It is so gorgeous. I might be able to get tiny something on the bottom here when I cut it to mount it or whatever. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it. That's the thing, is I do all these things, but I know about what size I want them to be. But then, do I want to frame them? Do I want to do a flat fold? And I've never done a flat fold. What are you doing, Mr. Kitty? So, we shall see what I do with it. I really think I do need to do some flat folds and then have like a thing that I do and I just change out my pieces. So I can enjoy more of my pieces. Kitty, what are you doing? Uh-huh. Come here. You goober head. He's so weird. All right. So this is my oldest whip. This is Wisdom Stocking. I had him change it into a stocking for me by Hade. Art is by Cherry Gerhardt. I started this on August 11th in 2021. I have now, since you saw it on my whip parade, it's now up to 9.71% instead of 9.24%. Cat, what did you just do? Oh, he's in a mood. He's been in kind of a crazy mood. There was two stray cats. One that was hanging out on our patio this morning, and I was like, what are you attacking over there? And he was trying to, I don't know if he was trying to fight or play with the cat. And then I saw another one. So we've got a lot of cats that are either people's pets and they let them wander, or they're just feral cats. I know we have some feral cats around here. So when he sees one of them on our patio, he freaks out. And he was trying to get through the window. But anyway, and I think he's been wound up ever since, is my point. All right. Over the last 2 days, I have finished my June whip go for this. And I have 2 days in July to stitch on this for whip go this month. So I should definitely get to 10% on this. It is on 25 count Lugana. There are 85 colors and I'm doing it 2/1. So this is one of the reasons I took it out of the hoop. This one, it's so thick. I need to not leave it in the hoop when I'm not working on it. try to flatten it out a bit. All right, here is the overall. So this is the Ravenclaw sigil. My kid is a Ravenclaw, and though we do not buy official merch anymore, it has been, my child has confirmed that they still want me to finish this. So I'm going to fold this so I can hold on to it better. All right. So here is the top of the diadem. This is a raven. I worked up in here over the last couple of days. I had to stitch 200 stitches with thread colors that had the number 3 in them. So that's what I did. And as it is very tight, this is the beginning of the raven's beak. And so I think I'm going to just keep working up this way to next and get to the top of the stocking maybe. But there it is. And I know, like, it is super stiff and it's thick because I'm doing it 2/1 on 25, but I wanted it to like have a painting look, and if I had done less coverage, I think it would look less like a painting. And I am going to be not doing quite so intensive, gosh, brain. I'll be doing 1/2 on 25 count in the future, but I have this in cliffhanger in 2/1. And so not 1/2, 1/1, or 1/1, my 25 counts in the future. But I was so used to doing everything 2/1 when I did this, but isn't it looking beautiful? Maybe I'll finish this before she's 30. I should make that a goal. I should finish my kids' stocking before they're 30. I actually have her first baby stocking that I made when she was an infant, and her first Christmas outfit. So I think what I want to do with those is get a shadow box and put them in there together. All right, my last whip for you. This is one of mine that I would like to finish this month as one of my July finishes. And I have a plan, and I'm not going to finish all of them. I know this because we have things to do. But, oh, we're about to get some lightning, I think. All right. But I have a plan, which I'm going to explain in my plans here in a minute. But this is Christmas Morning by, where is her name? Jennifer Aikman Smith of Dragon Dreams Incorporated. Can you hear that? That was thunder. This is why I did not open the door. Also, my air conditioner kicked on, so you probably can't hear the thunder. But I need to wrap this up so I can enjoy the thunderstorm. I love a good thunderstorm. All right. So I started this on May, is that 4 or 1? I can't read my handwriting. It's May 4th, I think. Yeah. And I used a piece of scrap I had left over for my Frogwarts piece because I had to buy a ginormous piece. So it is also on 36 count stone wash by Seraphim. And it's got 18 colors and it's 2/2. And I've made some pretty good progress since you saw it last. I think I had it sideways in my last video. And that is okay. It is hard to tell. So this is Santa Claus. I got all of the white in his beard in. I've gotten all of the 498, that's the lighter red there, in his sleeping pajamas here, and then I've got a lot of the 712 cream. So what's going to be right here is a little dragon, and they're taking a nap together. And I got quite a few stitches in on this last night, and then I'll do the back stitch, and there is a little border that goes around it. He is so cute. There's also one with a dragon reading books and a dragon and a unicorn hanging out, and I'm going to have to make all of them. But look at Santa taking a nap, and then this is Whisper Thread, which was called for. So very cute. I've been wanting to work on this for a while. I don't know why. It's just like, that's of my little ones, that's the one I've been wanting to do. Okay, so plans. Let me get another drink. If I don't keep my mouth lubricated, then I just make annoying mouth noises at you. So, the cat is now watching the weather too. So, my plans. Continue to do my weeklies for fandom. Then when I finish that, I'm just going to do one of those a day for at least through July. And then I'm going to work on my pieces that I listed as my goals to finish for this July month. I also, sorry, bra adjustment. Ladies, you know how it is. I don't care. It's like, sometimes you gotta adjust your bra. Alright. And I'm gonna continue doing my whip go. So, every day, because I only get 6 challenges a week for my weeklies, and it's 200 stitches. So finish those 200 stitches. I work on one of the ones that are close enough or small enough I think I can get done in July. Okay? Sounds like a decent plan, right? And then that'll help me whip down, because I am going to have some bonus starts to my 50 years, because I can't stop starting things that I really like. And there's a couple of events I want to join in on. Next plan is I am doing the Stitching Connection round robin for 2025, hosted by Jason X Stitches. He organized it. He put everybody in groups. I've got a chat thread going with my group. We haven't met yet because the first Zoom meetings were during Frogwarts, which I couldn't do. But there is another one on Saturdays, so I'm hoping we can figure out what pattern we're going to do. We all have very different tastes, so finding something that we're all willing to stitch is, you know, going to take some compromise, and that's all right. Let's see. All right, some other Flosstubers who are participating. Coco Creates, who I haven't watched yet. Wild Fox Stitchery, Steph. Zoe is Coco Creates, Steph is Wild Fox Stitchery. Haven't watched that. Sheldon and Stitches. Have watched him, quite enjoy his Flosstube. Bees and Tees Stitching, Sebastian. Also watched most of Sebastian's. I think I'm missing a couple that they've made since they've been sporadic, and I've missed a few. Pocket Mama, Sarah Ann, which I haven't watched yet, so I'm getting homework. Kansas City Stitcher, Samantha, and Bird's Eye Stitches, Robin. Also, Uplift Stitches, Melanie. The German Stitcher, Martina. Stitching with Charlie, which I love her Flosstube. It's really nice to interact with her. She's very nice. Stitched Lit, which is Bonnie Claire. So I have 3 people else other than me that I've seen Flosstubes of in here. Well, and Jason, because he's running the whole thing. So I know I have some new Flosstubers. I think I was already subscribed to some of them. I just hadn't got a chance to watch because my subscribe list for Flosstube is like 200 people. And I'm trying to find the ones I really like, and I want to like see everybody's stuff, which makes it hard. Cat has finally settled down and decided to take a nap. So if you've swung by me and you decide I'm not your thing, you can follow along with the Stitch Connection on any of those Flosstubers. Check them out. I'm going to check out the ones I haven't seen yet. Another thing that I'm going to be dealing with, which will not involve new starts, which is Kenny Stitches, who I couldn't remember having watched him, but I watched him, I think, I have 2 YouTube profiles. And I watched him on my old one, and I'd forgotten that he'd seen him because I went back to watch his. I was like, oh, I don't think I've seen him. And then I was like, no, I've seen this. So he is hosting an abandoned Sal. So all those Sals that you've started and haven't kept up with and you haven't worked on in a while, his idea is to focus on them in August. So I'm planning on doing that. A lot of my Sals I did not buy when they were still active Sals, but it seems like a good idea to try to make some progress on them. Although I am really hoping that the Rare Horrorfly Sal will be done before August, because I want it to be one of my July finishes. So that's kind of what I'm going to try to work on in August, is some Sals. And then Adelaide Stitches, who is another Flosstuber I've really been enjoying lately. She is hosting a birthday Sal. It officially starts tomorrow, but she's very flexible. You can start it whenever. The hashtag is Orange Fabric Halloween Sal. She is another person who loves Halloween. And I have a piece that I've been wanting to use, but I have been having a hard time finding the perfect pattern to go on this piece of fabric. So I bought this when I went to Stitchville for the last time, And it is actually a little bit of a redder orange. This is making it more of a golden orange. So this is the fabric. It is called Pumpkin King by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. I had picked up another piece called Pumpkin King there. So it gets it's really dark in spots. And the orange in that one was much more fluorescent-y orange. And I was going to get that, but I'm not big on the fluorescent colors. So when I saw this one, I switched it out. They were both called Pumpkin King. Excuse me. Drainage. They were both called Pumpkin King, but this was less fluorescent, which I preferred. So I joined there's a Facebook group for the Orange Fabric Halloween Sale. You have to message Adelaide to add you. She started a conversation, but there was too many people in it. Sorry again, but I've got to get the bubbles. Anyway, all right. So someone suggested a piece for this, and I have 3 options that I think would be reasonable. While we were watching a movie last night, I sat on the floor and I was going through my patterns trying to find something because I wasn't sure about it. And I mean, it's an excellent suggestion. I thank the person for making me think, reminding me of it. So, but I had 3 pieces that I thought might work. There's Raven Moon. My only concern, this one, because it's a silhouette, and they have it on this gray. And then my concern is the moon. So if Raven Moon, I think, might look okay on this. I mean, I can pick a section of the fabric. And I think, because this is 36 count, and all of these call for a smaller count, I think it could work with the moon. And that might be really interesting to have the yellowy moon on top. I thought about doing something with light, but I'm afraid, like, if I used a white monochrome piece on this, that the darkness of it would stick through. Then the person in the group suggested Dreamweaver Witch from this year's Halloween, just cross stitch Halloween. And then I never have started this Midnight Ride. I've had it for years. Now I could do this and another piece on that. But what do you think? Midnight Ride, Dreamweaver Witch, or Harvest Moon, or Raven Moon. I want to do a floss toss for this. I'm not sure about the yellows. And I think this is no, it's all DMC for that one. Excuse me. This is also, just black DMC. I guess I could do a toile with that if I wanted to make it a little fancier, but no, because the toile's too thick for the 36 count. And then I think I would need to change the colors in the scarf and on the broom. And it calls for fancy floss. Fragrant Cloves, Onyx Garden Gate. But I could just substitute out some DMC. What do you think? Which of those should I put on this gorgeous piece? I found in a couple of others, but they were a little silly for some fabric this fancy. So that I plan on starting in the next couple of days. I will cut down my fabric because I don't like to waste fabric. And I want to plan out where I'm going to cut it. All right. So the last thing I will be doing for this next year, sorry, I had to lean forward to set my stuff on the other couch and make sure it wasn't going to fall off and hit the tripods. Sorry. My next plan is Sarah Dockstetter, the Redneck Bifocal Stitcher. I think I said her last name right. Is hosting a countdown to Frogwarts Year 7. She started it last year, and it's in Year 5 we got these cards that are meant to represent they're based on the proclamations that Umbridge did. And each one's got a prompt on it. So this one says, stitch on a project that was gifted to you. Okay. Stitch on a project with luck, in quotes. So I've already run into one that I didn't have a project for, and I might have to redraw the necklace one because I don't know if I have a project with a necklace, because I finished the one project I had with the necklace. That was year 6. I think Halloween Fairy has a backstitch necklace, so I'm still going to work on that if that's the case. And I mean, it's my rules, whatever. It doesn't matter. And since I'm doing Frogwarts all in one piece, I could probably say, it's on the same fabric. I could count that too. So what I'm going to do is each week I'm going to draw one of these cards and use it just like I would for a project for Hogwarts. I'm going to do like 200 stitches on it, just like my weeklies. So I will do my weeklies. Sorry, I had to put them back in the drawer so the cat didn't mess them up. I will do my weekly challenges, which is 200 stitches a day, every day. I will work on my July finishes. I will do my 2 days on wisdom left in the month. I also have to do a fully finished object for the July. And then I will, every week I will draw one of those cards and do 200 stitches on a related prompt. That is my plans going forward for now. As we know, plans are made up and the points don't really matter. So I have reached 215 subscribers as of this morning. It was 216, but you know, it fluctuates. The only reason I haven't done this before is because I wanted to make sure I actually stayed at 200, because I would get 200 and it would go to like 195. It would do the thing. So, but I have a giveaway. Excuse me. Oh, I hate when I get drainage. But if I wait until I am clear of the drainage, I might never fill another floss tube again, because sometimes this lasts for months. So my giveaway is a book from 1987, designs by Miranda, called Life is a Zoo. I am doing some decluttering, some destashing. This is full of animal puns. There are 10 designs, and I will see. I know it's hard, but like love birds, let's boogie, I'm a horse. So they're really kind of cute. Don't play with your food. Life is full of ups and downs. I think my favorite might be the camel. Run for your life. And then this is a play on yuppie, because it was the 80s. Foxy Lady is really cute. So I just, with all the other things that I have, I know I'm not actually going to get around to stitching this. It was hard for me to pick which thing, because I have several things I'm getting. I'm like, what would people actually like? But I know a lot of us in the cross stitch community like puns. So, same rules of any giveaway on Flosstube. Don't say giveaway in your post. I will have to delete it to avoid attracting the spammers and the bots. Must be 18, so you can give me your address. I am so sorry. And I am not going to do it. I've been doing videos every week, so I'm going to give you 2 weeks. So if you are interested in Life is a Zoo, make sure that somewhere in your comment you put zoo. I know, not very imaginative, but it'll work. These are really cute, and they're mostly 1 page. Camel goes over a little bit, over 2 pages. They're kind of silly, and I kind of love them, but again, I'm not going to ever stitch them. So I figured I would pass it on to a good home. So that is all I've got for you today. I did not expect this to take almost an hour. So like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y things. Please let me know what you are working on below. Let me know how you came across my channel. If you have any questions, feel free to ask either in the comments. My email's there. My Instagram is there. My Bluesky is there. My Stitch Community, though I need to remember to check that out more often. So 2 weeks for the brain. 2 weeks for the giveaway. You have 2 weeks to put your entry in. Cutoff will be, what is it? Excuse me. 2 weeks, Saturday. So, yeah, Saturday at midnight, or before I get up. Usually I film on Sundays, so 2 weeks from yesterday, because I will probably film on Sunday 2 weeks from now. I just was not in the mental space to film yesterday, so I waited till today. I will put links to all of the Flosstubers and stuff mentioned below, as well as the designers and dyers for the fabric. I look forward to hearing from you, and may today be kinder to you than yesterday, and tomorrow be kinder to you than today. Have a great week. Bye.